Hi, sweeties. Thank you for joining me once again as we discuss all things marriage, life, love, relationships, divorce, anything and everything that affects life. This is Life on the Table with Notolo M. Now, today we're talking about if you are a married man and you are not sure if your family, meaning the family you come from, your family being your mom, your parents, and your siblings. If you're not sure if your family is in support of your marriage or in support of your wife, we are discussing ways you can tell, things that can tell you if they are in support of the success of your marriage or if they are actually working against it. Now, by that, I don't mean that it is okay for a man to discuss his marriage with his family, the family he comes from. It is absolutely not right, because when you are married, in the marriage, it's you and your wife. You know, two opinions are hard enough, let alone adding a few others as well. So just for a piece of advice, if you are that kind of man that discusses your marriage with your family, it is absolutely wrong, and you are actually adding more difficulty into your marriage than you already have. Now, in black marriages, oftentimes the husband's family know exactly what he gets up to. They know what he does with his friends. They know all the places, most of the places that he goes to. They know about his life. So if you have such a family and you are a married man and they are very much aware of the things that you do, but they are not saying anything about it, nobody is reprimanding you, nobody is giving you positive advice, then that is also a sign that your family is not in support of your marriage. If your family knows that you are always out with friends, partying and drinking, and you hardly ever go home to your wife and spend time with your wife, they know, they are aware of it, because oftentimes they will be calling you. If you are a close-knit family, they will be calling you and they will obviously ask you where you are. And if they see that most of the time you are never at home with your wife and your own family, and they don't say anything about it, they don't even advise you or advise you on your way of living that will impact positively into your marriage, then your family is not in support of your growth. They are not in support of your marriage. Oftentimes, again, in black marriages, there will be times when a married couple has a problem, and they will, which is something I personally do not like, but it does happen, so we have to address it. So they will call their families, both sides of the family, to come and discuss the problem, whatever problem it is that the married couple is facing. So in the discussion, if you see, you are a married man, right? If you see that probably your wife is complaining about certain things that you do, or the meeting is about certain things or certain wrongs that you do, and in that meeting you see that your family, they are not even trying to listen to what the wife is trying to say, or they are not advising how you two can work together in order to fix your marriages. If you see that all they do is defend you, support you, stand by you, support your wrong, then Mr. Married Man, that is also a sign that your family is not in support of your marriage. They are not in support of the success of your. Another way you can tell as a married man that your family is not in support of the success of your marriage is if they constantly want to control you, even though you are married, even though you have a wife, even though you are not living with them under the same roof. If they constantly want to control you, they want to control your decisions, they want to tell you what to do, when to do, how to do it, what to buy, what not to buy, what decisions to take, instead of pushing you towards doing things with your wife, then your family sweetheart, I'm sorry, but they are not in support of your marriage, and they are not in support of the growth of your marriage. And if you are that kind of man that always discuss everything with your family, everything about your marriage or the decisions you and your wife have decided to take, or whatever plans you and your wife have, if you are the type of man that discusses things with your family, if you are that close with your family, by the way, I might add, that is not always a good thing. However, if you are that type of a man, and whenever you tell your family about the plans you have made with your wife or the decisions you have taken with your wife, and anything and everything that has been suggested by your wife, they crush it and sort of force you to do things their way, then your family is not in support of the success of your marriage. Now, you could be having difficulties because now you love your marriage, you love your wife, and on the other hand, you love your family, being your parents and your siblings. However, if you are a married man, you are now separate from your family, and you are now bound with your wife and the family that you are creating. If you find yourself caught up between these two families, your decision should be easy. You must always choose the family that you are creating. Not that you have to leave the family you come from, but you need to be strong enough to set boundaries so that the family you come from does not make life difficult for you with the family that you are trying to create, with the new life that you are trying to build with your wife for your children. And if your family loves you, they will always want to see you succeed, and they will respect your boundaries. So it's really up to you as a strong black married man to set such boundaries so that your wife never develops any animosity towards your family because you are letting your family into your marriage issues that they should have absolutely nothing to do with. Now, you need to sit down now and assess where problems actually start, because if you look at your marriage very closely, you will see that you will sit down with your wife and have discussions and have plans and agree on certain things and be happy about the decisions you have taken. But because you grew up, discussing everything with your family, and of which there is nothing wrong, but if you are married, there has to be boundaries somehow. So because you are used now to discussing things with your family, when you get to them, they now convince you to change the decision you made with your wife. And when you get home now, you come back as a different person, right? Not the person that left, not the person that was happy with the decision that you made with your wife. You come back as a different person because now you are trying to please your family by taking their decision over the one you took with your wife. And that, if you can check, that's where conflict in your marriage starts. Because at the same time, oftentimes, if you are that kind of man, you will not come back to your wife and tell her that, actually, I discussed this with my family and this is what they said, so I have decided to go with what they said. You will not have enough guts to tell that to your wife. So what you will do instead, you will get home and pretend as if you have changed your mind and have taken a different decision from the one you initially took together. And that's where conflict and misunderstanding and misery and dissatisfaction and unhappiness starts taking place in your marriage. If you live that kind of a life, there are certain things that need to change. You need to change the way you do things as a man. You need to start setting boundaries. You need to start separating the life you have with your family, the family you come from, and the life you have with your wife and children, the family that you are. Because in all honesty, marriage is a beautiful thing. It's only those tiny misunderstandings or those tiny mistakes or those tiny little things that can cause misunderstanding, which might lead to a divorce. And that's not what we want. We have enough black marriages that are ending in divorce due to these little things. And all these little things have a way of just piling up, which will then lead to a divorce. Now, thank you for watching. I hope this video helps you make better decisions as the man of the house, as a decision maker, as the leader of the house, as the king of your castle. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. This is Life on the Table with Noxolo M. See you in the next video.